Hi all, and welcome back to the John Deere tractor restoration, John Deere B tractor restoration. And in today's video I'm going to put the Conrod's pistons and piston rings together, and hopefully if this video doesn't overrun I will actually try and video me putting them into the engine. Now I know I'm going to probably be, I don't want to sound like I'm teaching people how to suck eggs. I'm sure you guys that watch these videos have all put pistons and Conrods together, but there'll be some of us out there that maybe haven't. So I'm going to try and do this video. I'll see what it comes out like, and hopefully it'll be informative. This is how I do it anyway, my technique. A couple of pointers to remember. One, obviously I've got marked on the top there that piston top, so it needs to go to the top of the cylinder, and that allows the oil holes there that will be at the top of the piston to then, under oil mist from the inside of the engine, come out and lubricate the piston as it's going up and down inside the cylinder. And the Conrod needs to go in a certain way, in that it needs that number one there to be again top side, so it needs to match up with the top of the piston, so it needs to be like that. There's your top of your piston, there's your number one stamped on the Conrod, and I'm going to get it right. Number one stamped on the big end, so the big end will go like so. A couple of other things. I'm warming the piston up in front of my fan heater because with it being an aluminium piston, the little end journal is very tight in the hole, in that hole, and by expanding it with the heat a little bit, the little end will go in a lot easier. You're not having to jam it in. Now if that was a cold piston, there's no way you would be able to slide that little journal in. You can do it two ways. I use a fan heater, but an old friend of mine, he used to drop them into hot water. The only problem with hot water is then you've got to blow all the water off them, so the fan heater I think is the better idea. So yep, so I'm going to set the camera up, and hopefully, keep my fingers out of it, I'll set it up here, I'll do it in the vise, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I do. So as I say, I'm going to put the Conrod in that way. If you're wondering what the rubber things are here, this is just to help slide it over the big end journal on the crankshaft, just so you don't do it any damage. That's what they're for. They're just old spark plug covers. So I'll put that fella in like so, just gently nip it in the vise. Plenty of oil is the key on these sort of things, plenty of oil. Do not be frightened about putting plenty of oil on everything. So I'll get the little end journal, and I'm going to put some oil inside it, just to help A, keep the rust at bay, and B, just lubrication. You can't beat getting plenty of oil in everything. I'll lubricate the outside of it. Clean hands, cleanliness is quite important, remember. They are fairly precision pieces. So double checking, I've got number one there, the top of the rod, and number one and top of the piston, so it's going to go in like this. I'm going to drop, not literally I hope. There we go. Where is it at? There we are. There we go. Just be careful that you don't damage the skirt. This piece on the piston when you're doing this can be easily done, especially aluminium pistons. I'm just gently going to lower this a bit better into the vise. Don't over nip it, because you can cause yourself heaps of problems. I'd already put one of the gudgeon pin or little end journal pin clips in this side, so I'm going to drop this one in here. Make sure you get it in the groove. You don't want it coming out when the engine's running. It'd be rather devastating. I always put the clip that way. I don't know if it makes any difference, but that's how I do them. Just reset that in the vise thing. There we go, that's nice in there. So the next thing is putting on the in the rings. So the first one you're going to put on is the oil control ring. So we're going to put plenty of oil around the groove. Bit messy, I know, but plenty of oil around the groove. Now this is a two-part oil control ring. It has this metal inner spring, which we can gently slide over the outside and drop it in the groove, like so, like that. I'll put the open end on that side, because I'm going to put the groove of the ring on like that way. Now these aren't rings are, they can be put on either way. There's no dot suggesting that they go up over. Sometimes they have a dot marked on them, and normally when there's a dot you put the ring on like that, so the dot's pointing up over. So put a bit of oil on it, plenty of oil. As I say, don't be worried about putting oil on them. It's the best thing you can do is put plenty of oil on, because when they first start up, they're starting up fairly dry. And the last thing you want is a dry piston. So I have a pair of these old Hepalite piston ring expanders, and the bit I always hate doing is just expanding them enough to get them on. They are getting a bit tired, my old ring expanders. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind a penny for every time I put a ring on these. Just got to be careful. Take your time. Don't get them. That one has just got stuck. There we go. They are fairly robust, but they will break. They will break if you're just too rough with them. Let's say, just don't be too. Just take your time. There we go. seems extremely tight. So that's the first one, oil control. And we go to the next ones. Now these do have a groove on them, a dot on them. I don't know if it's going to show up, but you want to ensure that that dot is facing up over when we put the ring on. So put oil on again. Plenty of oil. Don't worry about the oil getting everywhere. It won't do any hurt. Hope this video isn't going to go on too long. You might lose interest. There we go. Plenty of oil. So yeah, so check the dot. There it is, the dot's there. Get the expander, place it on the top. There we go. There we are. First one in. Again, dot there. It's got the chamfer going up over. Some oil on this. Again, gentle expansion on the top, just to get it to go. Yeah, doesn't want to go. Trouble is, of course, everything gets covered in oil and becomes slippy. There we are. Second one in. These come in packs with the kit, like that. Now that's your top ring, your main compression ring. Now I have a feeling this one can go in either way. I can't see any dot on here, so it can go either way, up or down. And it's not chamfered, it's just a straight cut cast iron piston ring. So we'll just put some oil on that one. Put some oil on it. I always think it's a bit like cutting a pane of glass is putting piston rings on. You've got to just go at it with confidence, but carefully, with patience. If you go at it with confidence, you very rarely have a problem. He says confidently. And there we go. So that's them all on. Now, big secret with obviously with piston rings is to stagger the gaps. You don't want them all like that, because when they're in the piston you're going to have a blow past position there. So you stagger those gaps around the piston. Now I put the oil control ring on, so we're going to set that one at in line with the gudgeon pin journal. I'm going to set the top one there. We'll set the middle, the second one up there. In fact, no, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to forget about where this bottom one is. I'm going to set them at thirds. So I'll set the top one there, set that one there, and then set the compression rings, because the compression rings are probably more important than having them set correctly than the in relation to everything than the oil control. So I'm going to pick the camera up now, because I think I will do it in a two-part of this. So there we go. You see the rings on there, that one down the bottom, the oil control. There's the top of the piston, and there's the number 1 on the rod, so they're all in line with each other. So this video has gone a bit out of control really. So there we go. I'll do another video of me fitting them in the engine. Alright then, thank you.